much has happened in the past 24 hours. It just feels like
so many.
Typically sometimes
your eyes are feeling giddy.
Honestly, I'm busy. Sometimes it feels like, oh, the same stories keep recurring, but now it feels like there's a new update, especially
like an onion. You keep
peeling on layers.
Layers.
All right, let's start with the Nigerian Tribune. The big story here: MKO won June 12 election. Abacha annulled it. IBB says, without Babangida, I wouldn't have joined politics. Tinubu says, Dangote, Rabiu, Danjuma, Arthur Eze, others donate over 16 billion naira for IBB Presidential Library.
Yes.
Natasha in another shouting match with Akpabio. NUT slams federal government over 12-year basic educational proposal. Senate observes minute silence for late Adebanjo. Asks federal government to immortalize him. You are a product of God's grace at 77, cleric tells Awolowo Dosumu. Federal government terminates Oyo Ogbomosho road contract. BC Akonde misrepresented me in his comment on death of Bola Ige. Brigadier General Oluwole Rotimi says, CBN retains 27.50 interest rate, maintains monetary policy parameters, and AGF to Osun Governor shelve local government poll. Court of Appeal reinstated APC chairman. You are not a court of law, Osun government replies AGF. And that's all on the Nigerian Tribune. Let's go to the Guardian.
Now, what do we have on the Guardian front page? IBB admits Abiola won June 12, 1993 election and regrets annulment. This is coming 32 years after. And we also have Central Bank of Nigeria adopts cautious approach to rebase inflation, upholds parameters. The NEC 6 action against malnutrition sidesteps tax bill, state police and others. Federal government, through the Attorney General, tells Adeleke to suspend Osun local government elections. Population growth will spike petrol demand by 93 billion liters, ARDA warns. Okay, population growth.
So we should stop giving birth?
Yes. Or is it that the newborns use petrol for what? Do they add it to the baby formula?
I have babies on the way.
Akwebulos calls administration high after 100 days in office. Yes, and Lagos warns motorists against fake vehicle inspection numbers and concealed number plates. I wonder why
that Akwebulos story is making me laugh. It sounds like someone setting an exam for themselves and marking it.
Yes,
again, would you expect him to say he's doing badly or something? I mean, he came in there, he said he had the magic wand to change everything that he want to set a do on the right path, and then 100 days down the line, he will say, oh, I have failed. Is that what
I don't say people will be the ones to determine. So do you think, from your perspective, do you think that he's done well in 100 days?
Well, I think I went home last November. I saw a couple of things. I think the major thing he's doing is that Auchi Benin Express Road that, of course, have been in bad shape. He's doing that. That's also is the trunk A road. But of course, you know that APC that's at the center. APC also at the sub-national. So I believe that that's what people are marketing for him as something.
IGG when new political appointees enter.
Yes.
Like in Buhari, they said he was using body language. Yes. So might this be IGG from Governor
Initial paragraph for
those who don't know. Do you think his strides are sustainable?
Well, I hope so. Because I'm a stakeholder in the Edo project. I have had not a government appointment. I have a political appointment there before as a spokesperson of one of the parties there.
Yes.
When I left Lagos briefly, I am a broadcaster as well. And then returned after a party lost election, and then we couldn't hold the ground anymore. So I quite understand what's happening there. Initial gragra, sometimes it also happens in football. You brought somebody from the bench and you saw some dashing moves and all that, then it sinks into the crowd and that's all. So, but I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out to be like that in the case of Ukbewolo.
For the greater good of the state.
Yeah, for the greater good. And then again, for the sake of the party, because they think PDP didn't do well. If they're able to do well, people will applaud them. Because for me, I am a beneficiary of the free education policy of the UPN. because I attended school during that time, secondary school. I didn't pay a dime apart from boarding schools and not a boarding fee. So for me, the two, Bemudia went to Mopofo born that time, and Ambrosali, there's been a problem of progressive development in that state, which of course I want this new government to reenact if they can indeed reenact. Okay.
Yes. And finally, on the front page of The Guardian, United States says USAID not sponsoring Boko Haram. So they are trying to say you should disregard anything that's coming.
There's no way they would have told you, oh yeah, we are doing it.
Congressman Scott Perry. I mean, do you expect them to say, okay,
oh, no,
yes,
we are doing it, I'm so sorry. I will stop doing
this.
it. Please, David, you as the Yoruba will say no, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay, let's quickly look at the Nation newspaper as quickly as we can. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, again, the big story is IBB. Abiola won June 12, 1993 election. Wow. You know, whenever I see that heading, I'm like, wow, what a discovery.
Yeah. Exactly. 32 years discovery. It reminds me of Mongo Park discovering River Niger.
That was already there.
That people have been showering
people were fishing there, watching.
Oh, wow.
He suddenly discovered it from nowhere.
Exactly.
River Niger just started flowing when Mongo Park came.
Yeah.
But if not for the sake of the business of the day, I told myself, I would not, even as a journalist myself, I wouldn't mention anything about this exercise. I think it's an exercise in futility, if you will. He calls it something in service. I think it's a disservice he did. I was in a journey in disservice. That's what I'll caption that. I think I just finished in the diploma at that time when this issue of June 12 happened. I voted. We're living at Ashosho at that time. Why would you wait for 32 years to come and tell us what you already know? So there's something new.
Okay, but the apology part. I mean, to be man enough to say, look, I regret this decision.
It's long. See, no, why I am angry. My anger is based on the fact that there are people who could have been witnesses from the other side. They are dead. So why wait for Humphrey Nwosu? Did you ever see anything? There was no mention of Humphrey Nwosu.
Yes, there was no mention who facilitated the election.
There was no mention of Humphrey Nwosu in that. Yesterday, if I read through everything, whether I'll see even a line.
I'm going to try and get the book this weekend and read.
There was no mention of Nwosu. There was no mention of Atoms, Zeribe, of the ABN. There was no mention of all these people who were, even Justice Clement. Some of those people who actually, but he's hipping on the okay, well, not my fault, you see. Because
in the interest of the nation.
Which interest? Do you know that even the war he said he was preventing, there was well, it may not be war, but a lot of people died. Chimamanda died. You know Chimamanda. What about Baghdad Kato? What about Abiola's wife? A lot of people died. I heard about some people, some of our Igbo folks who were trying to run away from Lagos, who also died caught in the web of confusion. All these things were what he said he prevented. And then if Abacha were alive, would Babangida say he did, because Abacha is not meant to defend himself. So he waited for too long, for so long. If he had done it 10 years after, good.
If Humphrey Nwosu was still alive to witness this, he died 4 or 5 minutes, October, exactly. You know, 2024, I think, October 2024. So why if he were alive now, how do you think he will receive this? Because
he wouldn't have been able to counter some of these things he's saying. So that's why I'm saying that for me, he's a villain. That's me. I mean, that not New Central. That's me, Charles Ideho. Babangida for me is a villain because he also said that even when he was there, Abacha. See, the military command is very strong. If you're number one, you're number one. Why would the number one not allow somebody to not be the one that will be commanding? It's a villain or make decision. So when he was the commander in chief. So Abacha at that time was no commander in chief or commander in chief. So why would Abacha, who was no commander in chief, now become the person who was? I mean, he became the person who was now giving orders. So he's a villain. He's a coward for me. That's why I say Babangida is a coward because he was not in charge. And now he waited till all of them were dead before he was now coming to. He's telling us what already. There's no new thing in what he has said. What he said, the only thing he did was just to raise money for that president. Because for me, it's something. For example, what does this have to do? What
are the key areas that, I mean, we haven't read the book, but hopefully we'll be able to read this within the week. Yes. What are the areas that you expect explanation for? Because some of the criticism we've seen, people have asked, what happened to Delegiwa? You know, are we going to?
He said he's still waiting too. That he also when who came in that he set up the Oputa panel, they talked about it here. He was expecting that the killer would be unveiled. He also was disappointed at police.
And it was head of state. Now, there's also the part of the Dimka coup where he went to the radio station and they said he allowed Dimka to escape and all of that. But beyond all of this intrigues, some historians, and there's a school of thought that says he's done well to document his own, it's his own story. I mean, Obasanjo has written My Command, My Watch, and a lot of these players in Nigeria's history have not documented their own part, whether you believe what they say or not. How important is it for actors, people that have been part of this country? And we have a lot of them that are still alive, from General Gowon to T.Y. Danjuma to Alabi Siama to General Akinrinade. Why is it important for them to document?
Before you respond to that thought, we have a call from Lenin, who's calling from Abuja. Good morning, Lenin. Lenin, please go ahead with your comments.
Please, I want to talk about this IDB stuff.
Yes, please go ahead.
You know, in this country, we lack accountability. I always say accountability. We respect elders too much. In the same country, IDB would have been picked up there, and right there. That would have been something that would be happening. Now, you know that a child is watching, somebody is watching. Okay, if I do something wrong today, I'll confess in 40 years' time. They will call me to open a library for me. That is just this. In the America we are copying, Donald Trump won election, but he was still standing trial because of his appearance in the last election and failed. Right? That's the system that is working. They are accountable. They hold you responsible for what was wrongdoing. But our own, since you did wrong when you were small, when you were much younger, when you are elderly person, nobody can talk to you. So that is the system we are. The system of the elderly, respecting elderly. When elderly people do wrong, we respect it. Don't talk to him. He's an elderly person. He has fought for Nigeria. He has done this. So that is just the system. Thank you and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Lenin.
Thank you, Lenin.
Okay, to your question, for me, I think it's just as I said earlier, exercise in futility. For me, what he had documented has no stand history, because he stood history on his head. The truth is there. Why do you? What he
so his
did,
greatest undoing is June 12th.
He struggled to exonerate himself from blame. Yeah, well, maybe as an aside, I'm sorry for what happened, though it's not my fault. I mean, that's no way to be a leader. Do you know what he took? It took us through. I mean, it took us on a roller coaster between 1985 when he took over and 1993. Banning politicians or banning them, rebanning and all that. Remember, built.
That's why they called him the Maradona. He'll be called Messi today if you ruled.
or Ronaldo. He decreed two political parties into existence: the NRC
and the SDP.
And spent billions of naira building secretariat for. We have two, for about how many local government? Two per local government. Most of them, if you visit all those cities, the grass and trees have taken over those cities.
So imagine if we've been democratic since 1993.
Imagine the progress we have made before, between then and now. Yes. But it was a stunted road he posted upon.
But like Lenin said, we have to respect our elders. So
no, I didn't know he said we respect our elders too much. I thought that's what he said.
Yes, so that's what he said.
Because our elders could never go wrong. That's it. So we should, Babangida and elder, we should respect him, even if he did wrong. No, come on. If anybody did wrong, we should say, if he did right, we should applaud the person.
Let's pause. We have an elder on the line, so let's respect him.
Hello, Chidi. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Chidi, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me very
loud and clear? Please go ahead with your comment.
Okay. I want to greet you all and my brother in the studio.
Thank you.
What is happening now? It's like we are in it, a day of reckoning, a year of confession. You see, more confessions will still come out. People should start confessing. I am happy that Gowon was also there. I am also happy that the president is also there. Many people will confess. After 32 years old, you denied a man his position. Election in Nigeria that claim knows that. Why is he even talking by now? The man in question is dead. The wife was killed. Who killed the Lekiwa? And many people suffered, and you, after this period, he comes to glorify himself. I think the point there is that because age is no longer his friend, and that is why he's talking. He wants to come and deceive Nigerians again. We know the truth. We know what's happened. We know.
All right, Trudy, thank you very much for joining, and calling. I mean, this sentiment, we've seen a number of people, but I think another criticism that we saw was a lot of leaders who attended the event. Part of it, they had said that at the end of the day, that we hope that politicians have had more, that basically politicians, regardless of the side of the divide, they will be all united by one common cause at the end of the day.
Yeah, because, in leadership, in most cases, particularly the Sicilian leadership of those days, you don't comment class suicide. Because once you belong to the leadership circle, it's like a cult-like followership or so. What happens to one person affects you. That's exactly what's happening over there. Because all of them are within the court, in the manner of speaking. So if one of them calls out the others to come, they need to show up over there. But if nobody attended, I would have been happier. But when I call people out, vexation would make people not go. I would have been happier. If, for instance, you had that all yesterday, scanty, I would have been happier. But the people who he did injustice to,
the number one citizen of the country who the military hounded.
Tinubu, imagine that. It was also there. And Tinubu was also applauding him and all that. No, Shivaji was not even in the fray. Shivaji was not in the picture at that time. You know, because as a lecturer, he was just in university doing. But the one that surprised me, Tinubu, who was also a victim of this military brigandage. Tinubu was a victim. He was hounded. At the time, they said they had to go through Bush party, through Cotonou and all that. It's the same Tinubu that God has gifted with benevolence to be a leader today. Well, Tinubu, as a president, he had to be there. But the one I like who wasn't there was Buhari. Buhari just didn't go. He sent someone to represent him. If Tinubu had said, okay, somebody's representing, I also would have liked it. But today, look at Gani Fan. Gani Fan also died in the course of some system because he never recovered from all those disappointments. So for me, he waited for too long for so long. If 10 years down the line, it would have made more sense, it would have been more effective. But all the dramatic persona, if you will, they all died, and then is the only hero remaining. I mean, come on. For me, it was a waste of exercise. Okay. He just wanted to raise money for president.
That money too is even another issue for conversation. But as much as we can, we have like just a minute to wrap up this segment. Your brief thoughts on Osun. The elections are, the essay to the governor in Osun State says that the elections will hold and that the Attorney General's opinion is not a legal matter. So it's just an opinion. Let's get your thoughts.
Again, for me, I should think that the governor should shelve the election, because the case in point is that if an appeal court has reinstated those chairmen, then let them serve out their tenure is going to be ending in October. So I learned. Let them serve it out then, so that you can be a basin of hope for us in democracy. If he did that, do you know that his name will be written in gold?
Right.
So that's what I think he should do. He shouldn't go ahead with it. But again, politicians will always be who they are. They want to. They tell you they know what they know what you don't know.
Right.
So that's where we are.
That's all we can take this morning. Charles Ideho, thank you for your time with us.